Hey guys, what's up? Doing a 2018 prospects breakdown series, and the number one prospect going into this year was Shohei Ohtani, who's been just lighting up the major leagues both with his bat and with his arm. He's hitting like over 380 right now with 3 home runs, and he hasn't even played in that many games. So, pretty impressive start for him. Just looking at one of the home runs that he's hit, this is specifically is the one that he hit off Corey Kluber, who is a pretty good pitcher in baseball. One of the things that Otani has kind of done a little differently since he was playing in Japan versus playing in the United States is he's kind of gone to like a toe tap. So you'll kind of see that when he starts with his front leg, it's almost like he's sticking his toe in the water. But then you'll see that he slides his hip forward. And for anybody that's a toe tapper that's watching this, when you toe tap, it's super important to make sure that after you toe tap, you still slide your body forward before you get into your turn. And that's something that Otani does pretty well. He turns the barrel behind him pretty well. My only criticism with him in this swing in particular is that he kind of pops his back elbow up. I'm going to change colors because you can see it because it's kind of the same color as his jersey or his undershirt. We want to get this back forearm to go up through the ball for as long as we can because the ball is coming in like this. So we want our back forearm to be tracing the path of the ball. But in Otani's case, he kind of really straightens his back forearm out, down through the ball rather than up through the ball. Overall, swings like this, they usually won't have a very high launch angle. He's strong enough. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, and he has long levers, so he's strong and athletic enough to be able to hit balls like this out. But if you're a younger player and you're looking at this, I wouldn't say that his upper half would be a model upper half that you want to look at. Also, he kind of cuts his turn off a little bit with his lower half, which I don't love. So I'd probably grade this swing overall, although he does hit a home run on this. And I think it's really important for guys to understand that I can grade a swing and say that this swing, like for example, this would probably be like a B minus as far as like how I usually grade swings out. You can have a B minus swing and still hit a home run. The bigger you are, the more athletic you are, the more fast twitch you are, the worse a swing you can have and still be successful. I'm not trying to say that Otani has a bad swing. That's not what I'm saying at all. We're going to look at a swing in a second when he was in Japan, where he puts an amazing swing on the ball. Swings can grade out differently, per swing. Doesn't mean that like that's the swing that he's locked into. Although his swings, his major league swings, although he's been quite successful, have all kind of graded out right around that B minus range. And the reason for that is because he doesn't really rotate his hips past the shortstop. He's a lefty, so we want his hips to go more towards the pitcher or second base. His hips kind of stall out around the shortstop. His rotation kind of halts, and he gets very pushy with his arms, which I'm not a huge fan of. That would be why I would grade his swing out a little bit lower. But if we look at his swing when he was in Japan, so if we go right here, there's one where he legitimately hit the ball out of the stadium, which was incredible. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer than I would have liked. That's okay, though. So there's one that he legitimately hit the ball out of the stadium in Japan that I'm going to show you in just a second, where his movement pattern grades out a lot higher. And this is the one when I was like, looking at him before the season started. And this was the swing that I was looking at and thinking, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be incredible. And I still think he is going to be incredible. And this is the swing here that I was talking about. So you can see that he has a lot more of a kick here, really slides his body forward as he's stepping. And you'll notice the big difference here is how high he keeps his hands. So see his hands are right next to his shoulder, and as well as he totally rotates, so his hips end up like at the pitcher and then second baseman when he finishes, and his shoulders rotate all the way through to be over the pitcher's head. And we're going to look at a side view in just a second. So there it is again. It's funny, the infielders and outfielders don't even really know what to do because the ball literally went through the top of the stadium, so everyone's just kind of confused as what to do. But here comes Ohtani again. So you'll see he keeps his hands pretty high here, and you'll see in this one he does a much better job of getting that back forearm through the ball. not through the ball, but like through the plane of the pitch. So if he were to extend, he would be able to extend more up, which makes the swing plane better and allows him to hit it hard at a high launch angle as well. Um, so you'll see how much more he rotates in this swing. So his belly button gets to the pitcher when his bat's in the zone, and then to the second baseman when he finishes with his shoulders completely rotating, this is not what we're seeing in the big leagues today, which is okay. Honestly, it's probably just a comfort thing. You know, probably guys are throwing a little bit harder in the big leagues, maybe a little bit higher spin rate, mixing speeds a little bit more than he's used to. And they probably have a little bit more scouting reports on him. So it's really important to understand that the swing that Ohtani has in the bigs right now is not the swing that he'll have overall. So this swing is probably like an A or like an A minus. The only thing that I would really say about Ohtani that I didn't really like is that he kind of lands ultra closed here, which makes him have to work through the outside parts of his knee. Your knee is supposed to bend up and down. It's not really supposed to bend side to side. So I'm usually an advocate for landing a little bit more open so you don't hurt the right side of or for him, the right side of his body. But if you're a righty, the left side of your body. So that part's super important to understand, that just because Ohtani puts swings on balls in big league games that, I don't like as much, doesn't mean that, it's not in him to take better swings overall. That said, he is hitting 380 plus right now with 3 home runs and only hitting in like maybe 5 games. So pretty incredible stuff from him. Regardless, the results are there. So, if he's able to kind of get somewhat back to this pattern, even if he maintains his toe tap, I'm not saying he should go and leg kick right away, but if he's able to rotate his body like this and get his upper half to turn under like he's doing here, then I think the sky's the limit for him in the big leagues. He just kind of has to get back to that pattern. So as a quick little comparison, I'm just going to look back at this video that we were just looking at from the side here and kind of compare that to what, another big leaguer does. And the big leaguer that we're going to compare it to is Harper. Now, I don't have an old school Harper video loaded up here. When I say an old school Harper video, I don't mean really old because he's not old at all. But when we're looking at Harper, he kind of has a very similar loading sequence as Ohtani here. Granted, this one on the left is one where Harper kicks. As you guys probably know if you watch a lot of baseball, Harper has a tendency to sometimes stick his foot out and just kind of toe the ground like Ohtani's doing here on the right. But other times he has the step where he slides his whole body, the leg lifts, the whole nine, which honestly I like this version of Harper on the left better. But you can see that a lot of things about the way Harper looks right now and the way Ohtani looks match up. The only difference really is that Harper is able to get his hips way further open and rotate quite a bit better than Ohtani in this video. But like I said, Ohtani, because he's as big as he is and as strong as he is, and he has a lot of potential to be a good hitter for a very long time. I hope that his swing starts to look a little bit more like that one where he hit through the roof in Japan. So in this series, I'm going to be doing breakdowns of all the top prospects right now. So the next one up is Ronald Acuna because he was the number 2 prospect coming into the year.